There are over 6,000 abandoned mines in South Africa, and with a history of mining dating back to 1851, it is no wonder that some of them have been turned into museums with their own ghostly tales. Hello everyone, welcome to Hauntings and History, the show where we discuss hauntings and the histories behind them. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Pilgrims Rest, Mpumalanga. Between 1840 and 1870, a number of small gold mines were discovered, but the first gold rush took place in 1873 on the farm Geelhoutboom near the town of Sabie, which is around 5 kilometers away of Pilgrims Rest. This digging was given the nickname the Mac digging, most likely named after the gold commissioner, Major MacDonald. The story of Pilgrims Rest starts with a man named Alec Wheelbarrow Patterson who sold his donkey in Cape Town after it kicked him and decided to take on the 1600-kilometer journey to the northern goldfields on foot, pushing his wheelbarrow with all his belongings inside. In 1873, after digging at the Mac diggings for a while, he decided to go off on his own to explore the new territory. He started panning for gold at nearby streams and got lucky at Pilgrims Creek. Alec was a solitary man and quietly panned the creek without telling anyone. That wasn't until one day when a man named William Trafford ruined that for him by registering his claim to pan Pilgrims Creek with the gold commissioner Major MacDonald, and the news of this sparked the biggest rush of the time. With the abundance of gold found at Pilgrims Creek, Major MacDonald moved his office from the Mac diggings to the new goldfield in 1874. By that time, there were already 1,500 diggers mining 4,000 claims in and around Pilgrims Creek. By 1876, the area had already grown into a makeshift town as temporary structures like tents were replaced with timber and corrugated iron ones, and businessmen flocked to the area to provide the panners with provisions and necessary equipment. Stories of nuggets weighing 6 to 11 kilograms were told around campfires. By the 1880s, however, alluvial gold started to dwindle, and many panners moved to the newly discovered goldfields at Barberton. During the Anglo-Boer War, mining was halted and all settler employees of the Transvaal gold mining estate were ordered to leave. The commandos now in possession of the gold reserves used it to trade with the local ethnic groups. The local ethnic groups had no use for gold ingots and insisted on trading in coins. The government decided to set up a small mint at Pilgrims Rest and had produced around 600 to 1,000 veldponde by 1902. Today these coins are extremely rare and valuable and treasured all over the world, so you know what to get me for Christmas. After the war was over in 1902, mining continued. As the demand for gold ore crushing increased, the engineers at Pilgrims Rest knew what they needed to do. In 1911, Pilgrims Rest became the second electrified town after Kimberley, and gold ore crushing began in 1913. By 1974, the little bit of gold that was left were all mined out, and Pilgrims Rest was on the brink of becoming a ghost town. Luckily, in 1986, it was declared a national monument. Today, this picturesque town is available for touring. Activities include hiking, museums, restaurants, and even ghost tours. Visit Pilgrims Rest today and get the chance to see the haunted Allenglade House. Built in 1915 by the Transvaal Gold Mining Estates for Richard Allen Barry and succeeding mine managers, it was the first and only official manager's residence in Pilgrims Rest and will serve as such until 1972. This house is said to be haunted by one of Barry's daughters that died from meningitis at the age of 10. Her apparition can frequently be seen. Orbs, cold spots, and the smell of cooking can also be experienced from inside the house. The cemetery of Pilgrims Rest also has its fair share of stories. Many miners arrived at Pilgrims Rest having spent all their money, so they needed to find gold in order to survive. Because of this, many of them fell ill and died or committed suicide. There's a story about a young penniless miner who slit his throat when he could no longer make ends meet. On the way to the makeshift hospital, they passed the cemetery and he told his carriers to just leave him there. When they refused to do so, he reached into his open wound and tore out his own jugular. There's another story about an old man that was about to be bankrupted when he spent his last cents on a barrel of rum. He positioned the barrel above his bed and opened the tap to allow the rum to trickle down his throat until he died of alcohol poisoning. Man, these were some badass dudes. Millwood Mine, Knysna. What does gold and ostriches have in common? Nothing really, but the Millwood Mine could in some way owe its existence to our feathery friends. In 1876, ostrich farmer James Hooper was looking for grit near the banks of the Karatara River when he noticed that a certain piece of gravel looked different. He took the shiny piece to the Knysna chemist William Groom, who confirmed it to be gold weighing in at 26.4 grams. Hooper, excited about his find, decided to show it to Charles Osborne, who was the government civil and mining engineer responsible for the construction of the new road between Georgia and Knysna. Osborne sent the nugget to the Cape government, which awarded him £100 for further investigation. Further investigation in the area of the find yielded nothing though, and soon Osborne was sent away to work in Port Nolloth. In 1885, Osborne returned and discovered 14 grams of gold just east of the Karatara River at the site which is now Millwood. The government responded by sending Thomas Bain, the famous mountain pass engineer and builder, to confirm this claim, and the rest is history. In 1887, this goldfield at Millwood was officially claimed and brought with it a great influx of foreigners eager to mine the area. By 1888, about 1,400 claims were being mined. Millwood Mine became a boomtown within weeks, housing 6 hotels, a graveyard, canteen, houses, and shops, making Millwood vibrant with activity. But all good things must come to an end, I guess. Within 5 years, not enough gold was being found at Millwood, and it became a ghost town, and fortune seekers moved to greener pastures at Pilgrims Rest and the mines of the Witwatersrand. Today, Millwood is part of a beautiful 5.6-kilometer hiking trail through the now Goutveld Forest that is a protected conservation area falling under the management of Sun Parks. There's also a couple of mountain biking trails available, with the latest being the family-friendly Gold Nugget biking trail. Maybe I'm just being ignorant or something, but I always thought that elephants in a Knysna forest was a myth or the work of fiction as seen in Phil as a Kind. But apparently not. You can legit see elephants here if you're lucky. They say that if you visit the now abandoned Millwood Mine, you can experience the mystical aura that still lurks there. The new rush, Kimberley. When it comes to the hauntings of Kimberley, there's an endless supply of stories. It is said that Kimberley hosts around 350 haunted buildings. As in the case with most mines, it is not the big hole that is haunted, but rather the immediate surrounding area. Kimberley got its start a couple of 100 kilometers away in Hopetown, when a young man by the name of Erasmus Jacobs picked up a shiny pebble on the banks of the Orania River in 1867. When the news of this diamond spread, thousands of people flocked to the area in search of their own diamonds. Additionally, the news of this discovery also made people aware of the possibilities of diamonds in the area, and soon diamond mines were popping up all over the Northern Cape, from Hopetown to Berkeley West, and in 1871, the De Beers Farm. This discovery would later prove to be the gift that keeps on giving, as diamonds were steadily discovered from 1871 until today, as Kimberley remains a center for mining and cutting diamonds. Although that is true, it's safe to say that the diamond rush ended around 1908 when diamonds were discovered in German Southwest Africa, modern-day Namibia, close to the town of Luderitz. The diamond rush might have moved to Luderitz, but the spirits that haunts this town stayed behind. For a while, caretakers of the Rudd House Museum would stay on site and sleep in a flatlet that was attached to the house. These caretakers would never last long though. They would always have a high turnover rate, with the longest one lasting only 6 months. One caretaker said that he heard plates crashing in the pantry that was the room right next to his bedroom. He got such a fright that he called the police, who proceeded to search the entire house, including the pantry, but no disturbances were found. That caretaker would continue to hear crashing plates in the pantry every night until he resigned. A similar haunting takes place at the Lord Milner Hotel in Makiesfontein. Check out my 4 haunted hotels video for more information. There has also for some reason been reports of a disembodied scream of a child in pain coming from the nursery. Seriously, what did Charles and Henry Rudd get up to in this house? The next very haunted building in Kimberley can be none other than the Afrikaner Library. Built in 1887, it would be Kimberley's first public library, the product of new wealth in South Africa, and would host one of the largest collections of old books and manuscripts in the world. This building is said to be haunted by librarian Bertrand Dyer, who defrauded the museum out of some money, and when his deception was discovered, committed suicide by swallowing arsenic. There has been countless reports of footsteps of a man pacing the library, and when you're looking for a particular book, just ask Bertrand, as he will kindly assist by pushing the book off the shelf for you, no matter how securely it's wedged in. People have also reported seeing an apparition of a man in period clothing matching the description of Bertrand haunt the corridors of this historic library. My guess is that he was or is haunting this building because he was rather unceremoniously buried in an unmarked grave. Not long ago though, his grave was discovered, a funeral was held for him, and a tombstone was erected. The boardroom of the Kimberley Club, where Cecil John Rhodes and Barney Bonato created the De Beers Mining Company, is also said to be haunted. The hauntings includes the apparition of a large black dog in the corner of the room, an apparition of a man in 19th century clothing watching the staff of the Kimberley Club as they work, footsteps in the boardroom, and the lamp on Rhodes's desk would just randomly start swinging and suddenly stop. That's all the stories I have for you today. If you have enjoyed them, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any personal encounters, please feel free to share your stories in the comment section. Until next time, see you!